Okay,
S-
okay. So
Sir,
yeah, go ahead, please.
what's your say on this? Like I have read a lot on Brahui, speaker of Balochistan, sir. Brahui is a kind of language. It's spoken in Balochistan even nowadays, but they are said to have certain remnants or biological connection with the Dravidians of certain tribes of Kerala or Tamil Nadu. What's your say, sir?
Yeah, there might be, but I'm not very much knowledgeable in that area. Brahmi, are you talking about Brahmi language?
Brahui, Brahui. It's spoken nowadays even in
Okay, probably.
Balochistan area, and we know that Harappan and though before Mehergarh, so we say it's one of the earliest civilizations of India Indian subcontinent. Uh,
Mhm.
so
Probably there is a relation. I'm not particularly sure because you can find linguistic relations between so many different languages, right? Um, uh, Even unexpected relations also you'll find.
mhm.
Um, what we call shirt in Hindi, kameez, right?
Central Asian languages.
Yeah, Hindi is even Spanish has la camisa,
Very true, sir.
right? And what we call pineapple in South
Mm,
Indian languages and even in Hindi is anas,
mm,
right? It's called ananas in French and in even Russian also,
yes, sir.
right? So there are so many words that keep jumping between. So it's quite possible that there is some relation, but
Yes,
we
sir.
don't
Like
know whether it is a
orange. They
ha,
say it traces from Narang, which
naranha. Yeah, in Spanish
Narang
it is
from.
called naranja. Yeah.
It's Narang is like it's having our own. It's autochthonous to Indian continent. So the word Narang, Narangi. From there,
Uh,
Arabics call it Naranj. Then it became orange. Something. Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. So the words when they keep evolving, right? After a certain
Yeah.
number of years, we don't know where it started, where it ended. So yeah, so that way there might be a relationship. I'm not particularly sure how deep
Yes,
it is.
that's the very nature of language, right, sir? Like they are
Yes, yes.
organic. We can't say these are foreign words, and we can't keep that such barrier because language is a organic entity, sir. Like
Right,
it
right.
keeps on
Yeah.
evolving, and
Yeah.
we keep on barriers.
Every generation adds new words, almost deletes or forgets few words, right? Every
Yes, sir.
generation does that. Every 30,
True,
40
sir.
years, people keep adding and removing stuff.
So, like I've seen, sir, like people of one particular language speaker, they generally say so those words are foreign and we don't use them in my language. But it can't be always
Hmm.
true, no, sir. Somehow or other way it creeps in, no, sir. And these days, within the era of globalization and so much of technological advancement, we use internet and all. Language is
Yeah.
creeping. Things change.
Actually, no language is independent. There is probably one or two languages in the world which are completely independent from one another. We have something called language families, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, Out of that, Indo-European is the largest language branch,
Yes, sir.
and almost all the North African, Middle East, European, and Indian subcontinent languages, all of them come under the Indo-European branch.
True, sir.
And they kept on shuffling words between each other through the centuries. So
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing called this is foreign language, this is not. None of our language, the modern speech that we have, none of it is original.
Yes, sir.
Everything is influenced by at least three to four languages,
Yes, sir.
right?
Totally agree, sir.
Yeah, every single thing. Even Sanskrit is not original. Sanskrit is actually a modified form of Prakrit,
Yes, sir. The
right?
books with the language we find in the older books, it's different from the
Yeah,
modern Sanskrit in lot many ways, no, sir. It
yeah,
shows
yeah. So
how different.
the ancient Sanskrit itself is a uh, what do we say? Sanskarit. What is
Mm,
Sanskrit is called? It is
Sanskritam.
Sanskritam. It is made professional, right? Sanskarit.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, elites. A
They
lot of elite tone is there
ha.
with it.
So
Refined way, sophistication. Yes, sir.
to samskarify something, you need to have a base, right? There is another
Yes, sir.
language on which they have built Sanskrit on top of it, right? The word Sanskrit itself is said that it is enhanced form. Sanskrit is Sanskarit, language. The underlying language is Prakrit. Prakrit
Yes,
is
sir.
a set of languages, right? One of them is Pali.
Or the
Other is
Bagadi.
yeah. There are a bunch of languages. On
True,
top
sir.
of that, Sanskrit has evolved, and when it evolved, it does not even have a script. It doesn't have a script.
Yes, it was a spoken. No, sir. It was in a spoken form.
Yeah,
It was transferred earlier, no, sir.
yeah.
As we know.
That's what we were told. So then, when the Nagari script started forming,
Yes, sir. Gupta age. Yes, sir. Nagari.
right?
Yes.
When Nagari script started forming, that's when Sanskrit has become easier to write. Before that, you cannot write Sanskrit at all because the sounds of Sanskrit are not available to write in any other script at that time. There are multiple scripts, right? Pali script, Brahmi script, Sarada script, so many things. None of those scripts have a couple of sounds of Sanskrit. So you cannot write Sanskrit at all. It has to be only spoken. Once the Nagari script started evolving into some, there are two types, I think, Udayanagari and Devanagari, I think. I'm not particularly sure. We should see the linguists' pages. But
Okay,
once
sir.
Devanagari has started evolving, Devanagari has become the easiest way to write. Actually, you can in modern scripts you can write Sanskrit and Telugu script, Tamil script, and Malayalam script. You can easily write,
Yes, sir.
right? But the at that point in time, the only script that can handle uh, Sanskrit was Devanagari. Actually, it was invented only
It
to
came
write
quite
Sanskrit.
later, no, sir. Quite later.
Yeah, yeah. The Devanagari Lipi has started forming properly in the way that we recognize is in the 10th century.
Yes, sir.
After 10th century only, it means for just about 1000 years, everything that is written in Sanskrit that we find, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Vedas, Upanishads, every single thing is written after 10th century.
Yes,
None
sir.
of it was written in any period at all. There is no way you can even write Sanskrit.
Like
People
the
keep showing
process,
those
there's
images,
like
right? Now people keep showing those images like Valmiki writing
those are all modern day creations.
complete, completely fake creations. None of it was written before 1000 years. It's just
Like it just
1000 years.
started, no, sir. Like nobody had
Yeah,
like it not culminate. Culmination started like you have said almost around 10th or that period, sir. It
yeah,
just
yeah,
like no final phase. Like we said, there's different names for Mahabharata, sir. No, sir. It's earlier it was known as
yeah.
Jaya Samhita. So this finalities it came as I said quite later. Sir. Like
Correct, correct, correct.
it's evidential. No, sir. Like in
Yeah, that
recorded
history needs
it's
to
known.
be that history needs to be told to people. People keep believing all this nonsense that religious people keep saying that our books are crores of years, lakhs of years old, and all that. None of it is true. It all
Mankind itself, the Homo sapiens, they came almost 40,000 somewhere around that period, no, sir. How can we
yeah,
say?
they don't worry about science because they don't understand science. So anyway,
I don't know why, sir. This is not only associated with Indian religious or Indic religions, even in other religions also. At times, I had seen these things, sir. Like many people, they believe in that fish, no, the ship, or of on a river, like
the story, yeah, the Noah's flood story, right? That's
Noah's Ark,
actually no,
Noah's flood.
Noah's flood story. That story itself is not original, right?
So
Old Testament
it's taken
story
from
is a previous one. Yeah, the flood stories are common across all ancient cultures. Everyone
true, sir.
they see at that point in time the only thing they do is tell stories to each other, right?
Fable
That's the way
story.
humans communicate. That's the
Yes,
way
sir.
humans communicate. So they used to travel all the way. See, the only way we think is people migrate, but people keep traveling, right? People come from outer lands, learn the local language, try to understand what they are, and then go back and write books. Chinese
Based
did
on
it
their own perception, right?
exactly. So these stories keep going. If you see the same kind of Noah story
In Manu,
appears, yeah, in the Manu Charitra also, and the same kind of fish eating. There is Jonah, right? There is
mhm,
a guy in Old Testament Bible called Jonah where a whale swallows him. The same
mhm,
kind of story is going to appear in the Matsya Purana,
mhm.
right? So these stories keep shuffling, and people keep fighting who got it first. Our guys will say, no, no, Matsya Puranam is the original one. They copied from us. And
Sahili Farsi.
yeah, and they
Laughter.
say that, okay, they say that our story was copied by Indian ancient writers, but both of them are wrong, and both of them are cheaters. Because even older myths before um, these civilizations, right? They have even better myths, for a lack of better word. They
Mhm.
have even more elaborate myths,
Yes, sir.
right?
True, sir.